Hey, VC Jeff here. It's been a couple days since I did a video because we have been all weekend. My wife and I spent kind of restructuring and destroying my room here, rearranging, I should say. As you can see, I've got some of the new IKEA shelves. They're not new from IKEA; they're new to me. So basically, essentially, my daughter needed a bookshelf. As if you've seen my room tour in the past, this room that I'm in used to be my, I considered it my library. I'm a big book person. I used to run a bookstore, so I have accumulated a large library of books. I was an avid reader for the longest time. I don't get this chance to read as much as I'd like to, but still have a lot of books, a lot of bookshelves, wall-to-wall bookshelves. Little by little, the vinyl collection has been encroaching on the bookshelves, and books have been rearranged in other places of the house, taken out of the library to be replaced by records. And anyway, my daughter needed some new bookshelves in her room because her book collection has gotten bigger than the smaller shelf that she had. So I said, well, I'll give you one of mine. So then we had to come up with an idea of rearranging my shelves. And my wife's like, why don't you go out and get a couple, shelves that are dedicated just to records and get the ones off the bookshelves. Put them onto these shelves, put the books back on the bookshelves. We rearranged. We were going to dump some of the books. We've got some moved into a spare room, et cetera, et cetera. We spent all weekend. I'm sore. You can tell I'm getting old. I'm just like, we moved. And so the big selection of records that was behind me is now over there. We got these in over here. The ones that were on the bookshelf over there are now over here. Anyway, it was a lot of shuffling around. So it's been a crazy couple of days. And there's still a lot of clutter on top. I've got to still put things away. There's clutter and everything. But we're revamping the whole room. I may eventually do another room tour just to do a comparison. But if you go back and look at the room tour that I did last summer, 2020, summer 2020, I believe it was, you can see, what I was starting off with and all the bookshelves and stuff. So, but I want to go ahead. I've gotten quite a few things in the past couple of weeks, some of which I've been dragging on, but these all came in the past couple of days. I wanted to hit these up because this is a new band that I've discovered. Now, they're not a new band. They're a new band to me, but they showed up. I don't even know how I discovered them. Somehow I saw something at some point and I said, okay, so I checked out the band. I watched the video. I was intrigued by not only the sound was great, but I was intrigued by the lyrical content. So I kind of put them in my wish list on Amazon. And then I kind of forgot about it. And it's been weeks, couple weeks. And for some reason, I just, I've been watching them. The price is always kind of in the decent range. I thought, one day I'll buy them. Then somehow they popped up again. So I checked them out again and I thought, why didn't I buy this before? So turns out then I found out that they put a new album out just like, last month or whatever, that was newer than the one in my wish list. So I went back and looked at that and I thought, that means that the band now has 3 albums and I need to jump on this. So first I want to show you, not in the order, but I want to show you the album that I started off. This is the one I discovered, Blood of Angels. This is the band Spillage. And I discovered them on a song from this album, on a video for this album. And again, I don't recall anybody showing it. I don't know if it popped up on just random video or some sort. Essentially, they are labeled as a doom metal band, and they're from Chicago, Illinois. So if you're into doom metal, you realize that, Illinois is well known for Trouble. And Trouble was a doom band from Illinois also. And so, they've got that going for them. Now, I listened to them, and yes, they have a lot of doom aspects, but they're not as doomy as like a Trouble at times. I would say they're a little more like later Trouble, where they kind of were becoming more just straightforward metal, but yet still of a sludgier, view. So, if you're not into doom, it's not the slow, noisy stuff. It's straightforward, just good classic metal, clean vocals and everything. But the guitar tone and everything has a little doom aspect, and at times they get a little doomy feeling. So don't be turned off by that if you're not into doom, and don't be looking for that if you're big into doom. Definitely not any of the death doom that you hear nowadays. Vocals are very clean and everything. So the thing that I discovered about this is the song Blood of Angels. The thing that struck me is the lyrical content is of a extra biblical, Second Temple period, Near Eastern. We're getting into all kinds of weird biblical terms now. a nature where and one other band I did a video on a while back, Attacker, on they had a song that was along the same lines. So it's all dealing with the biblical idea in Genesis 6 of what caused the flood. And in Genesis 6 it says, in the days when the people populate the population started to increase, the sons of God saw that the women were pretty and came down and created giants with them. And so there's a lot of interpretations of that over the years, but the historic ancient Near Eastern / ancient Hebrew thought on that in the most circles was that those were the watchers, those were the angelic beings that came down and procreated with women. So you don't hear it as much in the common churches these days because it's almost become lost. But that's kind of the angle that, and I'm drawn to that because I've preached on that many times at conferences, I've given lectures, I've preached on it at church, on that whole ancient Near East / Second Temple period view from Enoch and things along that line. So it really struck me. It's interesting. Now, the song, I'm like, interesting, that's really cool. And then I went to look up the songwriter, the vocalist. I thought, the only other band I've heard that really took this approach in the metal world is the band Attacker. And Bobby Lucas is the vocalist. And I reached out to him at the time and asked him about his history and why he went that route or whatever. But so I wanted to reach out to this singer and ask the same thing. But so I went and I friended him on Facebook, and come to find out we have some mutual friends in common, one of which is Bobby Lucas. So the same guy who wrote that song in that line, is friends with the singer who wrote the song along that line on this one. In talking with the singer, it turns out that they grew up in the same area, or they were in the rock bands in the same area, which I assume was probably the New Jersey area, which I think is where Bobby's at, and I think that's where he came up. But anyway, they were friends and did a lot of the music scene back in the day. So interesting, now they're along the same lines, writing interesting, slightly different views of scriptural text. But anyway, all that to say, very cool. I was drawn to it by that lyric. I then went out and got the album, have listened to it, and just absolutely love it. Again, this is the kind of doom I like, if you want to call it that. The actual record, this one's black. I'd ordered this, and it was supposed to be white on Amazon, but they sent me the black one. Turns out the black one is more limited than the white one. The other ones were like 200 or 300 copies of each. The black was only 100, so whatever. I'll take what it is. They pretty much, self-released. They're on Qumran Records, another, kind of a throw that made me wonder, kind of threw me. I'm like, Qumran is an ancient, early century Christian sect affiliated with the Dead Sea Scrolls. They also would have been along the lines of, they maintained Enoch and some of those other writings that would have led to that. So it just kind of, you've got Trouble, who were always kind of labeled as a white metal band or a Christian band because their lyrics were very much biblical, but the band itself never claimed to be of that nature. I'm assuming it's about the same thing. I'm just like, what's in Chicago that's bringing out these, spiritual / biblical type lyrics? I'm not opposed to it because obviously anybody that watches me knows that I listen to a lot of Christian rock and metal, and so that's my thing. Anyway, yeah, I just absolutely fallen in love with this. So I couldn't sit around and wait. I went ahead and ordered the rest of their albums. Now this is their first album, just called Spillage. Real quick, it's on red. Now I actually just got this in the mail today, and I have given it a spin. This is their 2015 first album, and they had a different singer. Now the other two albums have the same current singer, and I've gotten used to him because I've listened to those the most. Then when this came in today and I gave it a spin, I'm like, well, it is a different singer. I don't want to compare singers, but this is really good. But I was not at all let down by this album. This was a really, really solid album after listening to the other ones for so long. Anyway, they're kind of, the songs are, whatever. Not a whole lot here, but yeah, anyway, when I got this, I was like, okay, let's check this out. Because I did read some reviews, and I saw some questionable stuff, and I'm like, let's see. The reviews that I read about the album that were kind of negative I'm like, no, I really like that album too. This is their brand new one. It just came out this year. Electric Exorcist. So again, we've got the, Exorcist. We've got the religious sounding lyrics. And then if you watch the video for it, it's the same thing. And, you know, they talk about casting out demons and in the name of God. This one's also on red. So, yeah, this one, again, is the same singer as the Blood of Angels and sounds very similar. This band is just solid. This, so far, I've given both albums a couple listens, both of the newer ones, and then the new one. The older one, I've given one listen to, but these two with the new singer, they're just solid. You need to check them out if you're into the slightly sludgier metal. Anyway, if you're into Trouble, it's going to be right up your alley. It's and again, maybe not quite as doomy, but oh yeah, it turns out. So yeah, not only is that, I meant to mention this. The first album, Bruce Franklin from Trouble produced it and played some guitar on it. So there's a connection there. They are, you know, friends with the Trouble guys. But and these are the two with the, you know, the current lineup, and highly recommend. I highly recommend all three of them. I have not been let down in anything I've heard so far by these guys. So I just want to introduce you. If you're not familiar with the band, check them out. Up and coming 2015, 2019, 2021 are the three albums we've got here. So they have some videos online you can check out to get the music. Grab them. You know, if you get them from their Bandcamp page, they're $20 a pop. So that's not bad for vinyl. If you get them from Amazon, I think one of them was maybe $17. So you can save a little here. Depends on when you buy it. Check them out. Their Spillage. It's been a great couple of days as I've been listening to them. And if you haven't checked them out, again, maybe they're new to you. If you haven't checked them out or heard of them and you're into metal, modern metal / doom feel, definitely check them out. They're a band, up-and-coming band that I have really, really been enjoying these past couple of days. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll be back because I do have some other new things coming in. And as I continue to get the room set up, hopefully things will be more organized soon. Anyway, rock on and rock hard.